Hello everyone! After suffering for another solo playthrough with a Spore Druid this time, I'm finally ready to give you one more certified solo Tactician build. This won't be your typical summoner build where you waste your time playing with some weak ass summons and wondering when your main character's turn will come. I will provide something different that is focused on Reverberation and AoE spells. As you may already know, Spore Druids are masters at controlling the battlefield. They can slow, freeze, poison, blind and burn their enemies on mass scale while supporting their allies with various buffs. With the right gear and spell combos, they can become weapons of mass destruction, and I'm going to show you exactly how to achieve this. So without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? Starting with the class combination, the Spore Druid can be combined with a variety of classes, but for today's video, I'm going to focus only on these three options that you can see on the screen. The red option, a level 10 Druid and level 2 Evocation Wizard, will give you the ability to learn any spell from scrolls. More importantly, you will obtain arguably one of the best caster passives in the entire game, Sculpt Spells. Having this passive means you can cast damage dealing evocation spells like Firewall or Ice Storm, for example, without the risk of killing your allies or yourself while targeting an enemy. The blue option, a level 9 Druid and level 3 Evocation Wizard, provides the same benefits as the red one, excluding the level 10 Druid's passive feature, Spreading Spores. Additionally, you gain one more slot for a spell on the wizard side, and as you already know, you can learn any spell from a scroll, opening up many possibilities. The green option is a simple Spore Druid without any multiclassing, ideal for those of you who would like to play just as a Druid. The benefits from this option, compared to the other two, include an additional feat, potentially boosting your stats even further. More importantly, you gain the level 6 party buff Hero's Feast, which lasts until long rest, increases HP by 12 points, makes it impossible for enemies to poison or frighten you, and also grants advantage on every wisdom save. When it comes to choosing a race, I will leave the decision to you. Regardless of your choice, no race significantly increases the build's functionality. However, if you are planning a solo Tactician playthrough, consider a Wood Elf for the proficiency in stealth and perception, along with increased movement speed. As a solo player, it's quite handy to be able to sneak around undetected and being able easily to spot hidden objects of interest. For Cantrips, the best choice is Guidance for its versatility, and for second one, get Produce Flame. Regarding the background, the choice isn't crucial in the grand scheme, but for a solo playthrough, I recommend selecting Urchin for the extra bonuses to pickpocketing and stealth checks. When it comes to the ability points distribution, here's what I suggest starting with. And once you get the Hag's Hair and decide to use it, you can visit Withers to respec your character and boost your wisdom to 18 by sacrificing 2 points of strength or charisma. For spells, let me just say that every single one have its uses, some are good, others are amazing and some are just pure trash. What I recommend you to get for every level is purely based on my solo Tactician playthrough experience and some sense of combat efficiency. I won't speak much about party synergies, but have in mind that what works for solo also works great in a party, and of course the active spells composition can always be changed to suit a specific situation. Now for starter spells, I recommend getting Ice Dagger and Thunder Wave for damage, Long Strider for increased movement speed, Create Water to douse fires, and more importantly, to make your enemies vulnerable to frost damage. At level 2, you gain the ability to shapeshift into several animal forms. However, considering the build revolves around spellcasting, these forms become an irrelevant bonus and I won't mention them further. More importantly, at this level, you choose a subclass, Circle of the Spores. Additionally, you will acquire Symbiotic Entity, which is technically a buff lasting until a long rest. it provides a substantial amount of extra HP at higher levels, additional 1 to 6 necrotic damage, and doubles the damage output of the reactionary class action Halo of Spores. Level 3 opens up more spell slots and spells from which the most useful ones are Enhance Ability. This versatile spell can provide advantages in conversations or serve as a single and party buff with various effects. Next one, which is nice to have for crowd control, is Hold Person. Moonbeam and Spike Growth are decent damage dealers early on, and it will benefit you to use them when the need arises. Another good spell to get is Protection from Poison. This buff lasts until a long rest, and as the name suggests, negates to a certain degree any poison effects. At level 4, you will gain your first feat, and it should be Dual Wielder. This feat allows you to use weapons in both hands, and in this case, wielding 2 quarter staves to maximize combat effectiveness is the way to go. Additionally, while holding 2 weapons, your armor class will increase by 1 point. As for cantrips, nothing here is really needed, but for the sake of progressing to the next level, choose Poison Spray. At level 5, Plant Growth and Steel Storm are nice spells to get for crowd control. Level 6 will let you start raising zombies from corpses with the Fungal Infestation ability. At level 7, you'll gain access to your main AoE damage dealing spell, Ice Storm, and for single target damage, the Necromancy spell, Blight. Once you reach the third act of the game and obtain the Staff of Cherished Necromancy, you can upcast Blight and any other Necromancy spell up to level 6, and it won't cost you any spell slots. This instantly makes Blight your most reliable single target damage spell. At level 8, you'll gain your second feat, and I recommend choosing Ability Improvement. In my case, the character I'm using already has hacks here used on Dexterity. This is why I'm increasing Constitution to 16 and Wisdom to 18. In your situation, it will likely be a bit different, but just make sure to get your Dexterity and Constitution to 16 and Wisdom to 18. At level 9, you will gain access to the best summon in the game, Conjure Elemental. You can upcast it to level 6 as Myrmidon, making it even stronger and granting it extra abilities that complement your own. Additionally, you will acquire your second strongest AoE spell, Cloud Kill. This spell lasts for 10 turns and can be moved around the battlefield at the cost of a single action point. At level 10, you'll gain another cantrip and feel free to choose whichever you prefer. More importantly, at this level, you gain the subclass feature Spreading Spores. The spores themselves require a bonus action to be used, and they deal a decent amount of AoE damage. At level 11, there are 2 notable spells. The first one is Hero's Feast, which I've already spoken about in the class combo segment at the beginning. The second one is Sunbeam. The spell itself is quite strong, and it does frontal radiant damage in a long line, and as bonus, it can be recasted during combat at the cost of an action point. Finally, at level 12, you'll gain the third and last feat, Ability Improvement, which will allow you to max out your Wisdom to 20 and with the help of Mirror of Loss, even to 22. This concludes the Druid leveling part, and now let's move on to the Wizard multiclass option. For cantrips, get Light, so you can activate Callous Glow and or Coruscation Ring. Minor Illusion, to lure enemies at one spot and blast them with AoE spells. For the last cantrip, simply get whichever you want. For spells, Shield is the one you want because it significantly increases your survivability, and the rest are just extras. On the next level, for subclass, get Evocation. For spells, it doesn't matter what you select here because you will be very limited with your spell slots and they will be needed for something else. For the last wizard level, I suggest getting Misty Step so you can teleport anywhere at will, and the second choice should be Mirror Image for survivability. It's important to mention that you will get very few wizard spell slots. This is why you should reallocate any stats placed in Strength or Charisma into Intelligence, so you can open up additional spell slot. You can also sacrifice some of your constitution for the same purpose. In the first act of the game, this is the gear you should strive to obtain. Mask of the Shapeshifter will allow you to use the Shapeshift spell, so you can get the benefit of the Shapeshifter's Bone Ring. The Deathstalker Mantle can be acquired only if you play as a Dark Urge origin character, but if you play something else, don't worry about it, since the mantle may be nice to have, but it isn't really important part of the build. The Flower Aloof Sword was fixed in patch 4 and now you have to have it slotted in order to get its Shriek skill to persist, but considering you can carry 2 weapons at the same time, due to the dual wielder feat, this will pose no issue. You can always remove one of your staves and use it instead. The most important piece of gear from Act 1 are the Boots of Stormy Clamor. The entire build revolves around Reverberation, that's why, no matter what you do, you cannot afford to miss them. For the second act of the game, here is the equipment that I recommend. Almost all of the armors from Act 1 will be replaced, and the same goes for the weapons and accessories. Also, you will be able to collect almost the entire Reverberation set, which will noticeably increase your power. In addition to my recommendations for Act 2, these items on the screen can be used as alternatives and some of them also as support gear, which can restore spell slots. And for Act 3, this is the gear that I recommend. The only changes here will be to your weapons, chest piece and head. The first two can be obtained from 2 major side quests and the rest are simply bought from merchants. When it comes to growing tentacles and acquiring Ilithid Powers, as I usually say, there are no downsides to using them. In fact, they will enhance your gameplay experience, and that's why you should get as many as you can. Without going into details about every single one, let me just say that you must get Black Hole. This power allows you to pull groups of enemies into one spot, making it easier for you to blast them with AoE spells. With this out of the way, it's about time for you to go and make your Reverberation Spore Druid. If you still have any questions or if something wasn't clear, feel free to drop a comment below and I will respond as soon as I can. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate if you give it a like, and if not, it is what it is. Thank you for watching and until next time.